The case when a cobra attacked a hen with chickens, pinning them in a hopeless place, was quite famous due to the unexpected outcome of this dramatic conflict. After all, instead of killing and eating all the chickens and the chicken at the same time, the cobra received the most painful lesson it's ever had. An angry chicken suddenly turned from a calm hen bird into a living tornado. She attacked the venomous snake with an unexpected fury, flying at it many times from different angles and from different sides. Although the cobra could have dealt with such an opponent with a single bite, the venomous teeth never touched the flesh of the bird. The hen managed to repel the snake's attack, push the chickens away from the wall, and constantly beat the enemy herself, using both beak and claws. The episode impresses with its intensity and cool action, so it's not surprising that it's famous. But if you thought he was unique, you're wrong. It turns out that for many of the most ordinary chickens, such incredible fighting qualities are the norm. This chicken seems to be worried at all about the cobra, which has already risen with its collar open. The bird delivers a powerful blow to the snake's head. The reptile isn't shocked. She was stunned by a seemingly helpless bird. The snake freezes in place for a while, and the chicken, instead of trying to evacuate the chickens from a remote corner, simply pushed the kids away from the snake and calmly began to look for food, clean the fluff of one of the chickens of hers, rake the soft litter with its paws. The cobra did not expect such neglect, and it turned out that the chicken had quite objectively assessed its strength. After all, when the cobra decided to continue the attack, it immediately got it in the face. The chicken tore the snake's head to the side, threw it away with one powerful blow to the body, and when the snake crawled too close, pecked it right in the nose. And there was nothing the cobra could do. She did not have time to counterattack under such overwhelming pressure. The constant beating of her wings confused the snake, and the sharp claws and beak caused pain. The chickens can be completely calm, but the mom won't let the snake even get close to them with impunity. Moreover, in order to effectively defend against a venomous snake, a chicken does not even need a lot of room for maneuvering. Here the birds were hatching their eggs when the cobra crawled as close as possible to the strike distance. There are only a few inches between the bird's neck and the reptile's venomous teeth, but the chicken doesn't even think to get up and maneuver. Even lying down, she can fight against a snake, which can take down a bull with one well-aimed bite. The chicken suddenly and with lightning speed hits the reptile right in the face, and the snake is stunned but counterattacks. The chicken meets the throw with its beak again and forces the reptile to retreat. The bird didn't even have to stop hatching eggs to let this cobra know how much she had made a mistake in choosing a victim. The leopard kitten's game with his mom looks really cute, doesn't it? A mighty predator, the very sight of which makes all ungulates in Africa shudder, gently and carefully licks her baby while he climbs over her, plays, pokes her mother with his muzzle. But if you think that family life has made a predator soft, then you are wrong. A huge hyena appeared to take away from the leopard the most precious thing for a cat ever, its offspring. A big mistake, for which the brazen robber will pay for the rest of his life. The female leopard rushes furiously at the hyena, from which in other circumstances she would most likely just run away. But for the sake of protecting the kitten, the predatory cat swiftly attacks an almost twice as massive enemy and demolishes it with powerful blows of its paws, and then grabs its head with its fangs. It will not be possible to deal with the hyena because she desperately fights back, finally realizing who she is dealing with. But painful scars and an almost bitten off ear will remind the scavenger that the kittens of this predatory cat are under serious protection. The baby elephant fell into a pit with water and steep edges. The baby is alive and well, but is in danger and will not last long in there. Fortunately, people found him and decided to come to the rescue because there were no relatives of the animal anywhere to be found. A small excavator was brought in, which pushed the animal up with a bucket, but people underestimated the zeal of elephants and their love for their babies. It turned out that the elephant, even though she could not get the cub out of its trap itself, refused to let the equipment past the cub. And this can be understood. Imagine what the situation looks like from the elephant's point of view. The cub is in trouble, it cannot be helped alone, although the female is desperately trying to do so. And then he turns around and sees a metal monster that thrusts its terrible toothy limb right into the baby. Of course, the elephant attacked. People didn't know who they were messing with. It turns out that the elephants are so powerful that they can even fight with construction equipment on almost equal terms. It resembles an episode from some fantastic blockbuster about the struggle of giant robots with no less gigantic monsters. Although the multi-ton elephant is very strong, nobody expected success from it. After all, the excavator moves massive and heavy loads. But the elephant turned out to be so strong that she threw away the bucket and tried to gore the equipment. The excavator weighs an order of magnitude more than the animal, and it is noticeably larger and should have scared the elephant. But no, the female fights with frenzied zeal. And only when she realizes that she will not be able to crush the equipment, she goes into the jungle. The problem is that she's coming for help. When she returns with the rest of the herd, the excavator will turn into scrap metal. Fortunately, the situation ended well. The driver of the car acted very carefully and tried not to cause the elephant not only damage, but even discomfort. At even the same time, he worked quickly because the elephant could return at any minute. And the worker managed to do so. The rescue operation was crowned with success, the baby was released, and he returned joyfully and a little bit shocked to his caring and willing mother. Their reunion looks so touching, doesn't it? You even forget that this monster almost crushed an excavator just now. It seems that the animal realized that this cub was saved, and so he no longer gets into a fight. Which means that the people lucked out. Celebrity bodyguards should learn the art of guarding from this female rhino right here. She and her little cub were attacked by hyenas. Predators act very thoughtfully. They surround the target in a spiral. One hyena distracts attention and makes a fake lunge, while the other attacks from the side, trying to remain unnoticed until the fatal finale. The female has to constantly spin in order not to lose sight of her predators. This was supposed to distract the adult rhino, make it break into a run, panic, and chase after one hyena while the other dealt with the cub. But the predators' plan failed. The mother turned out to be not only fierce and brave, but also quite cold-blooded. She keeps her distance perfectly. When necessary, it drives away enemies who approach too closely, but at the same time constantly maintains close contact with the baby. He is the center of her dangerous dance, and thanks to this, the female manages to stop every attack and every throw of the hyenas, getting in the way of the aggressor and protecting the baby with her own huge body. Usually rhinos use ramming attacks, but this time the female is not a battering ram, but a powerful and impenetrable shield behind which her baby feels completely safe. So what do you think? Would you like to have such a cool bodyguard? The treacherous jackal was able to sneak up on a family of gazelles unnoticed, after which he attacked a newly born baby. Fortunately, his mom was there. She drove off the predator and ran after him until the jackal realized that if the female gets underneath the hooves, she will leave only red spots on the grass. The mother returns to the baby, who was lying on the ground. Was he hurt? Fortunately, no. It's just that the cub has been through stress. Do you see just how deep he's breathing? But his mother's support and touching care helps him come to his senses, and here he is on his feet again. It's such a lovely scene, isn't it? In order to be able to run at a speed of about 70 miles per hour, the cheetah had to give up a lot of physical weight. Therefore, although outwardly it seems that a leopard and a cheetah are predators of approximately the same size, this is not the case. A taller, thin-boned cheetah is about twice as light as a squat, but muscular and quite powerful leopard. At the same time, although the leopard avoids injury in battle with other carnivores, it can afford to take risks, because it hunts from ambush. Even with a wounded paw, he will be able to jump onto a gazelle from a tree. But the cheetah relies entirely on sprinting. If he can't run, he's in danger of starvation. Therefore, he often runs away from a stronger enemy. And if a leopard does catch a runner, it usually defeats her due to incredible agility and greater impact force, into which the predator puts not only rage, but also body weight. However, this female cheetah is not going to back down when an aggressive leopard attacks her kittens. A fast and ferocious cat attacks a predator and pounces on it, despite all the risks. In exchange of blows, grapples, and now the enemies are rolling on the ground. Fortunately, there were no dangerous injuries, and the mother managed to defend the kittens. The leopard received several sensitive blows, but is completely unharmed and able to continue the fight. Therefore, the female cheetah attacks the leopard several times, showing him that victory will not be easy. As a result, kittens help the mother. They have only entered adolescence and do not pose a serious threat to a mature predator. But when their mother once again grappled with the enemy, the kittens attacked the leopard. He did not expect such family unity, so he is finally forced to retreat. Which case of saving cubs by their mother struck you today the most? The jackal thought that a thin-legged bird would be an easy target. This was a big mistake. It's a secretary bird, which fights the most venomous snakes in close combat. To some jackal, this bird can deliver such a blow that the beast will run to another continent just to avoid encountering such an opponent again. Now we'll show you other cases of how birds teach lessons in good manners to animals that mess with them. A family of cranes built a nest in Yellowstone National Park, right in the middle of a pond. The birds thought they were safe there. Looks pretty cute, doesn't it? The parents, along with their chicks, decided to take a stroll along the shore when suddenly a bear appeared. The massive heavyweight predator apparently thought that these thin-legged birds would be an easy snack, and that nothing would prevent it from the feast, even if the adults took flight to protect themselves. But abandoning their offspring was not part of the crane's plan. Do you know what it was? Standing up to the bear. The bear tried to assert dominance, but for the protection of their chicks, cranes are capable of true heroics. The birds completely ignored the threat of the predator's claws and fangs and attacked him head-on. The bear was in shock. He didn't expect such bravery. Cranes' long beaks aren't adapted for hunting, but they can use them sort of like a rapier. A few precise strikes, and the bear would lose an eye. The bulky marauder wants no part in that, and he runs. Even though he's about 25 to 30 times larger and stronger than these beautiful birds. Parental love works wonders. The bear flees from the enraged crane and grabs onto a tree to just calm down a little bit. The huge predator is practically in panic. Leathery wings may look much more menacing than avian ones. However, this flying fox, belonging to the larger megabats, clearly underestimated its feathery opponent. Far from being a fearsome predatory bird, it turned out to be a real fighter. With the advantage of speed, the bird repeatedly attacked the foe again and again. As a result, the bird broke the megabat's hind leg, delivering a lesson the creature would not soon forget. The megabat clearly underestimated the bird, which is noticeably smaller in size and mass, but far braver and possessing true fighting instincts. Interestingly enough, this is not a territorial battle between two predators. Notice the specific shape of the bird's massive beak. It's adapted for crushing grains and nuts, but can also serve as a weapon. The bat is not a predator either. It primarily consumes plant-based food. Perhaps the bird aimed to drive away a competitor from its territory to avoid competition for food. Or maybe the bird simply didn't realize it was dealing with an herbivore. Eagles possess bullet-like speed and impressive reaction times. It seems an ordinary turkey couldn't even come close to the predator's swiftness. However, this turkey was clearly underestimated. Somehow it noticed the eagle's dive at the very last second and not only dodged, but sharply ascended, letting the bird of prey pass underneath. The enemy's talons missed the turkey's throat by a couple of inches. Yet it managed to escape with such elegance, as if it were just another casual Tuesday, not the most dangerous instance. The turkey didn't lose composure and continued fleeing. It might seem funny how it runs, but just pay attention here. The turkey is heading in the opposite direction to where the eagle's inertia took it. The bird of prey has no chance of catching the prey. This time, it clearly made a mistake in choosing its target. The turkey surely deserves your like, don't you agree? This golden retriever was peacefully swimming towards the shore when it caught the attention of not a tiger or a pack of hungry jackals, but someone more menacing, a swan. Yeah, you heard that right. Contrary to the reputation of being cute and good-natured birds, swans can be real tough cookies. While they are indeed loyal and devoted monogamous partners, they are also extremely territorial creatures that eliminate any neighbors in their chosen water body. The golden retriever is a large dog, but it's in the swan's domain, the water. The swan aggressively attacks the dog, which hasn't really done anything to harm it. Powerful wing strikes and attempts to subdue the dog really pose a threat. The swan could potentially drown the dog, even though it's roughly 7 to 9 times heavier and stronger. Additionally, the dog didn't expect such aggression. It's completely innocent. Fortunately, the shore was close enough, and the dog managed to escape. It seems like it might develop aquaphobia now. In reality, the aggression of swans has a real benefit for the survival of this bird species. Their bravery allows them to defend their territory against predators that typically perceive birds as food. This fox doesn't dare to even attempt an attack on the swan. It cautiously drinks and retreats away from the huge and brave bird. This eagle feels confident. It can't swim, but it perches on the shallows, scouting for food. However, it doesn't know to whom this water body belongs. The swan is against anyone eyeing its chicks with appetite. It initiates an attack on the huge predatory bird, which, with its mere presence, can scare even larger creatures. The fearless swan launches a frontal assault and charges at the eagle. The white bird tries to ram the enemy, lure it into deeper water, drown it, or at least get the predator's wings wet so it can't take off until they dry. The eagle doesn't accept the challenge. It retreats, and the swan celebrates another victory. Domestic cats terrorize urban birds. They often catch pigeons and sparrows, but can also handle a more dangerous and formidable opponent. However, in this case, the cat clearly overestimated its abilities. It engaged with an owl. A significant mistake that was. The owl has an excellent defensive tactic and can resist the predator even on the ground by spreading all of its feathers. The cat is shocked. The opponent suddenly doubled in size in a matter of seconds. It might seem amusing to us, but imagine if a cute, friendly Labrador suddenly transformed into a brown bear and stood on its hind legs. Not so funny anymore, is it? Sharp claws and beak allows owls not only to resist cats, but also to successfully hunt them as prey in various situations. The secretary bird has a distinctive appearance, with feathers resembling trousers down its legs. It has a neat head on a relatively long, straight neck, a relatively short, sharp beak, and a crest of several long feathers on its head, earning it the name due to their resemblance to quills behind the ears of 19th century office workers. While these birds are capable flyers, although normally they prefer strolling through the savannah searching for food. This jackal thought that the slender and amusing-looking bird could make an excellent lunch. However, it clearly misunderstood its opponent. The secretary bird is one of the world's best hunters of the most venomous snakes. Unlike many other birds that attack reptiles from the sky, this bird prefers a more nightly tactic. It confronts the enemy head-on without attempting to hide. If the secretary bird can dispatch a massive cobra over 6 feet long, dealing with the jackal is a breeze. The audacious predator regrets having chosen such a formidable opponent, and the powerful kicks can break ribs and even snap a spine. Although the bird's talons are blunt, turns out to be an advantage, delivering hammer-like blows. Despite having a short beak, it is exceptionally sharp. The secretary bird is a close relative and, in a way, a predecessor of eagles. In short, the jackal was fortunate to survive this encounter. It surely won't be attempting another attack on this bird. It seems these birds have grown tired of the tyranny of snakes. Individually, each of these birds wouldn't stand a chance against a large venomous reptile. However, in this case, they formed some sort of avian gang. Together, they attacked a snake that was just looking for something to prey on. The birds' tactics are indeed reminiscent of gangsters. The feathered fighters surrounded the stronger foe and took turns delivering swift strikes, pecking and hitting with their paws. These birds are not fearsome predators. They lack claws and a powerful beak as weapons. However, they have the determination to deal with the snake that terrorized them. And you know what? The birds succeed. The reptile is utterly shocked, not expecting such a rebellion, and is unsure of what to do. When the snake lunges at the one bird, another strikes it from behind. This cycle repeats over and over. The birds' tactics and coordination are perfect. They cover each other and fight with a desperation that makes one wonder if their feud with this specific snake has been ongoing for quite some time. Perhaps it's a vendetta? Or are we witnessing a new evolutionary leap where seemingly less powerful birds learn to cooperate for protection against more formidable and dangerous predators? What do you think? Let us know your opinion in the comments.